Hello friends, in this lesson we will understand the various ways in which we can implement the vector shapes inside of Photoshop. Now you must be wondering where and how to use these vector shapes. I have drawn this path with the pen tool and let's have a look at this paths panel. You can see that our path is on this layer called work path. Now if I deselect it and try to draw another path, this path is now on the work path. The earlier path is gone. I'll undo. Let's control click on the work path. It will make a selection around our path. At the bottom of the paths panel are these few buttons. This one will fill our path with our foreground color. Let's click on this. Let's change this and click on this. If we go to layers panel, we can see that our path is filled with the black color. Now this fill is a raster fill, not a vector fill. And this button here will stroke our path with the brush. I've selected the brush tool and if I click on this, it will stroke it. Again, this is a raster stroke around the path and the foreground color is used to stroke the path. Let me undo. Now this one will give us a selection just like we selected by control clicking this layer, like so. This one will create a layer mask. This one will create a layer mask. We have already discussed how to create a layer mask. Now if we want to save any path for later use, let's create a new layer from here. Make a marquee selection of this path. Ctrl X to cut it from here and Ctrl V to paste on this. Let's deselect the path and draw another path. Now it has been created on the new layer called work path. So you must have understood that whenever we create a path, it is created on this layer called work path. Now we have our saved path here and new path here. Let's delete this path. Let's go to layers now. Now up here are some options related to this path. This is fill, this is stroke, but we can't click them. Let's delete this path, grab our rectangle tool and draw a new path. Now here are a couple of other options to draw. We can draw with pixels. It will simply fill the rectangle shape with our foreground color. We can see here it is filled with black. Let's undo. Let's delete this one also. Let's talk about creating shapes. Let's draw the rectangle shape. Now it looks a bit different in the layers panel. In the previous lessons, we talked about what fill layers are. We can go to this adjustment layer and create a solid color fill layer or a gradient or a pattern fill. Now the shape layer that we have created is essentially a solid color fill layer filled with our foreground color with a vector mask on it in the shape of a rectangle. We will look at vector masks in a while, but let's double click on this layer. We get a color picker. We can choose any color to be filled, like so. Now let's take our selection tool and try to move it. You can see that we are moving the mask of this solid fill layer. We can either change this fill color by double clicking here or by this fill option. This is no fill, this is solid color fill, this is a gradient fill, and this is the pattern fill. This is the color picker. We can choose a color from here. We can also sample from these swatches. We can fill any color from these swatches, like so. Now if we click on this gear, we can load some swatches from here. Load swatches, save swatches, or we can reset the swatches. If we go to the gradient, we can select some gradients from here. Same with the patterns. We can load other patterns also. So we can control the type of fill that this vector layer is masking out. Let's now talk about the stroke, because strokes are new to Shape tool in Photoshop CS6. Basically, Adobe is trying to create vectors in Photoshop, working a bit more like they work in Illustrator by giving us individual control over the fill and stroke. Now with the stroke selected, we can choose a different color, like so, or we can give it no stroke, solid color stroke, a gradient stroke, a pattern stroke, or we can choose from here. I'll change the fill, I'm not liking it. All these options are same as fill. Now this drop down has a number of presets. They are self-explanatory. Just click on them and see what they are doing. Now this option is for the alignment of the stroke. This is inside, this is on the border, and this is outside. We also give the caps, and we can also change the corners. Let's click on this more options. This window opens. Now this is the preset we are working on. We can change any of these options like so and save them as our own preset. Suppose I've created this one and save. Okay. Now this is showing at the bottom of this presets. To delete that stroke, go to this gear and delete stroke. So it is very easy and simple to save and delete a preset. Let's again grab our rectangle tool and draw another rectangle. Here we can see that it has created a new shape. Now there is another new feature in Photoshop CS6. If we grab these two and hit Ctrl E to combine them, in earlier versions they would have been rasterized, but not anymore. They are still the vector images. Now these two shapes have been merged into one layer, but if we go to our selection tool and select them, we can select them individually like so. We can move them individually. Now it looks like they are merged, but they are individual shapes. Let's now talk about some more operations up here. Now these are called the path operations. If we click on this drop down, we can see that by default it is set to combine shapes. Now if we select another operation, say subtract from shape, you can see that the front shape is being subtracted from the back shape. I am selecting that shape and taking my transform tool and narrow it a bit. Let's take the direct selection tool and try to move it. Now this portion is being subtracted from this one. I hope you understand well now. Now stacking of these shapes is really important here. If we look over here, we have this option set subtract front shape, and if we select this shape, it is still set to combine shapes. What will happen if this shape is on top of this shape? Let's see. Bring shape to front. We will get a different effect altogether. Let's again select this shape and bring it back to front. We get the original effect back. So the stacking order becomes very important when we are dealing with multiple vector shapes on the same shape layer. Let's now talk about aligning and distributing options available. With this drop down, we can align the shape based on our selection or based on our canvas. Let's select them both and come here. Let's set it to align to canvas and left edges. You can see that it has aligned to the left edges of the canvas. And if we choose the other option, align to selection, and select the vertical centers, you can see the effect. Let's select another option, say right edges. Here we go. Now the right edges have been aligned. So that was aligning to the selection versus align to the canvas. Let's move it back to the center. Let's now jump over to this project file. This is a nice picture of a cartoon. Now I have created a vector shape layer here. This particular shape layer has multiple vector shapes on it. Let's grab our path selection tool and select the path. I'll select the whole path. Let's drag it to show you like so. I have hit Ctrl Z to bring it back to its place. Now in the original layer you can see that its scarf is red, but here it has taken a different color. That is because of the stacking. If I select this one and bring it to front, the original color is back. So you can play with some of these settings with the shapes, like combine or subtract from shape or the stacking. Now in the beginning I told you that the shape is basically a fill layer with a vector mask on it. We can actually use vector masks on more than just fill layers. For example, let's grab its head shape here, Control C to copy and Control V to paste on this layer. Let's now create a vector mask from the current path. Suppose I'll select this path, go to layer and create a vector mask with the current path. A vector mask has been created and it has masked out his head. Now we can alter this mask like so. Let's now jump back to this file and delete these two shapes. I'll show you how to create shape layers if we are working with paths. Let's take the rectangle tool and draw a path. Let's select the path with the path selection tool and again select the rectangle tool and look at these options here. Now we can make it a selection. We can give it a radius of our choice and hit OK like so. Let me Control Z, or we can make it a mask. It will create a mask here, Control Z, or we can convert it to a shape from this button like so. It has created a vector shape layer here. So there are multiple ways to create both shape layers and vector masks in Photoshop. So feel free to explore all the options. That's all for this lesson, friends. See you in the next lesson.